What's up, everybody? It is Friday, week 749 of quarantine. And you know what? It is what it is. I got nothing. You know why I got nothing? Because this morning on Breakfast with Bloomy, Mike Bloomy was challenged with an issue, and he goes, I'm going to figure it out. And I proved my point that if we want to figure it out, we can figure it out. Without further ado, the head geek of Techie Geek, my boy, Mike Bloomy. Mike Bloomy. You were delayed. You were delayed on the cut.
I was working on something.
Oh, sorry. Todd? Todd? Oh.
Todd? I don't think he's here. Oh, maybe behind me. There's Gotham. Is he coming? I don't think he's coming, though. We're trying to get him.
Todd! Oh, no, it's Friday. He don't do Fridays. This is episode 106.
Is that right?
So my friend, DT, called me. You don't want to know who DT is?
I didn't think it was Dave something. Who's DT?
Donald Trump.
Oh, he knows. He's been watching.
Yeah, you know me and D we're tight. And he goes, Moss, we're waiting for you guys to get to episode 1000 before I lift the official quarantine.
All right, so we got another. We did 2 months in 100. So we got another about 29, 18 months. All right, cool. About what they said for a vaccine.
That's what they said. No, I'm only joking. I'm just going to share my page. I'm sorry for 1 second. So what else is going on, Mike? Anything interesting? I know we had some interesting conversations after Breakfast with Bloomy.
No, I was doing some work, and now I've been messing with this green screen. So
work. When you talk about work, what do you really talk about?
What do you mean, work? Like, I have a bunch of stuff. Like, I got my new employee, so we're setting up, getting a role set up. I set up a new share because now there's so many of us dealing with like video files and everything. So I set up a new cloud storage for us, so we all could get. Christina could dump all her raw footage. Laura could grab it and chop up all the videos. I was dumping all the openers I put, so they're actually off of my local computer here and now on our environment. So they're part of the backup process. I was talking to clients. Yeah, all fun stuff. Real fun stuff.
Understood. I'm just typing. I'm sorry.
I gotta do billing still. I keep saying that. Stacks of
you
papers.
Don't tell nobody with about the money you've been spending. If I was one of your paying clients, I probably, I don't know.
That's nice. Nothing. Oh my god! I had a nice Celeste Deluxe frozen pizza for lunch. It was very good.
Talking about lunch, where is my chicken palm from Uncle Joe?
That's never coming. Oh my god! Look at this. Hold on 1 second. Never mind. She joined, but there's no camera.
Who's this? Our guest?
Christina. No, Jennifer's there waiting in the green room politely.
So we can talk so much about what's going on in the world. I'm really. What's up, Chris?
What's going on?
So I'm really. It's been a long 8 weeks, and I see that Frank Wilkinson is running a few minutes late, but on his show. But I don't know. If there's so many people that understand what's going on in small business and especially in the world right now. But there's only certain people that really understand what's going on. And that's people in our industry. Our guest today, Jennifer Finch, she's from the Coach's Ballroom and the above. She works obviously at the Hilton in Staten Island. Some people mix up the two. Their workforce went from thousands to, I believe, under 100 employees. And she's one of the few that is still there with the team servicing clients. I feel for her because her and I are two peas in a pod. And she understands what I go through every day more than anyone else. But she has an amazing husband, Carl, really a very, very, very good IT and installer.
I thought we weren't going to talk about that.
No, we could talk about it for a minute and just say who he is. He's a good. He's good.
I'm just messing around.
No, and Carl is what's one thing about Carl is Jen is crazy, and Carl, the place could be on fire, and he'll be like, "It's okay, Moss. We're just gonna get some water. We're just gonna put the fire out." Carl, the building is on fire. Carl will be like, "Don't worry, I got it all in control." And it's torn. Then you got Jen. Get the fuck out of the house! So, without further ado, my good friend. I know Jen probably about 20 years, and our paths separated, and now we're back together at the hotel. Jennifer Finch from the Coach's Ballroom, Hilton Garden Inn.
And she's like,
hey,
and
nice
she's
to
like
meet
one
you.
of our number one fans.
I am.
Did I describe Carl in the right light?
I sometimes poke him to make sure he's awake.
I love him. He really is good people. He really
he's
is.
Definitely my grounding wire. He definitely brings it down, but and when he is kind of like off kilter, it throws the entire world into a spin for me.
I would love to
quite
see
understand.
him.
Do you know we have been together for a little over 10 years now, and I have never once seen him drunk. And when we were on tour, I swear to God, never.
Have you ever seen me drunk?
No, never.
Maz, let's get him out of here.
Literally, like we need to go. But no, I've never seen him drunk. And the one time that apparently he did get drunk while we were together, I never got to see it, but it was a show apparently, and I missed it. So
did you take advantage of drunk Carl?
Can I tell you? So it was when we were touring. Like this was like back when we first got together, and he was on a tour. He was on the other tour bus, and they had a wild and crazy night. And they're.
What'd you tour for?
My husband and I met working for David Copperfield, the magician.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So Carl was the head lighting and tech electrician for the union for David's show for 10 years before I had met him. And then I wound up becoming David's personal assistant. And when I joined the tour, I met Carl there. So we were, I mean, it was the most unexpected random job that I thought I'd ever have. And the best thing I can possibly have of it came from it. So.
More importantly, who's a better magician? The Curse Project or David Copperfield?
You know.
Wow, really? Mike, you know what?
I got the tough questions, man. I got the tough questions.
I think that David is the OG, and that a lot of things that people are doing, David wrote 30 years ago, and they're just
what you're saying is the Curse Project has copied David Copperfield. I think he's been watching these shows, and I feel like he might have to comment and come back, and I'll get that posting right up as soon as he does.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, Jen grew up on Staten Island. She went on tour, and then she came back to her roots of Shaolin.
Yes.
And started at the Coach's Ballroom. And Jen and I think we, when we saw each other, I'm like,
is that you?
And you know what Jen said? I know you. Christina hates it.
I don't think they hate it.
I'm just so it's like every show 5 times a show. That's all.
It would be like more pretentious if he didn't actually mean it, but he means it. So I think like it's a deep rooted issue for him. So.
Chris, you've only dealt with me for 100 episodes. This poor girl's been dealing with me for fucking 10
20
years.
Yeah.
She is a saint. She is a saint.
And me calling up, these clients are crazy. Moss, stop.
Take a breath.
No, but Jen and I work on a lot of events together. We want to have fun. Jen handles all of the food and beverage at the hotel for the behind the scenes for the Beanie Bash, which I know Mike loves so much, and we got to get the shout out to
I love the Beanie Bash.
No, we were talking about it earlier today, and you were talking about the food and cocktail hour and stuff.
That was a great cocktail hour.
Yeah,
and Jen,
was fun.
But you see what you guys don't understand. The dynamics at the hotel. And I think it's important that we explain to our viewers, and if all of our viewers can share our post because we want it to go viral, You know, Mr. and Mrs. Nicotra are amazing people. They do so much for Staten Island, and they are involved in so much. And the hotel and the events industry is just one small part of everything they do. And the team at the hotel is amazing, right? So there's so many people from front of house to back of house. But my girls, my heart, and I hope no one gets mad at me, is with Jen and Sue and Carol and Alessandra and Colleen. Yes. Even though Anthony is Colleen's favorite, I'm second fiddle.
Second fiddle.
Second fiddle. We can have some fun. But when you do what we do for a living, you're basically giving up your social life. And like people don't understand. Like on a Monday night, where most people are sleeping, I'm like, hey, Jen, Sue, Carol, you guys going out tonight? Let's, because Sundays and Mondays are like Fridays and Saturdays for us, right?
Basically, yeah. Yeah, it's true. I mean, every holiday party, every Christmas party, every social gathering for our internals it's Monday nights usually, which is random and hard to find places that are open sometimes. But yeah, it's true.
And what's really amazing, and probably the only positive of COVID-19, is that Jen and the girls are probably going to spend their first Mother's Day home with their families instead of accommodating thousands of people at the hotel. No?
That's nice.
I literally just had that. I was just talking to my mom about it, and I just said, can you imagine that this is the first Mother's Day I've had at home with my kids in 8 years?
Wow.
Yeah, because we cater to a huge event on Mother's Day that sees 1,200 people, and I love it because my kids do come and they'll swing by and say hi, but we're in the service industry. This is what we do, and and this is what I do, and this is the stuff that makes us happy to do.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone wants to be with your family, but if you can't be with your family, love the ones you're with. So we do that, and so. But yeah, this is the first time. So it's I think Jimmy Kimmel last night was happy worst Mother's Day ever. And I'm like, no, this is actually this is a good thing. So
this is a dream come true.
You got to find silver linings, right? So this is my silver lining for this,
My silver lining is going to Montalbano's and running from Des and the kids.
That's it.
Desiree goes, and Jen knows my wife very, very well. She knows my children. Her daughter's named Carly also.
Yes.
And spelled differently.
Yes, spelled differently.
And it's funny because, to understand, number one, just because we're in the service industry doesn't mean we're your servants, number one.
Exactly.
But because we're in the hospitality business, we always need to be hospitable. And people that marry people or are involved with people in our industry need to understand us. Des gets Fridays and Saturday nights. She's going to watch a movie with the kids, but Sundays and Mondays or whenever our work days are, you better get your ass home. You better do what you have to do. They've accepted us for who we are and what we've taken in our industry. So
it took Carl a while because I've always been in the service industry. Since my first job was working at Benvenuti Pizzeria on Giffords Lane when I was 13. So I've always worked service, and it took a long time for him to get babe, I love you, but Fridays and Saturdays are for the people, for the paying folks.
For the people that pay me to love you.
Exactly. But I'll see you on Sunday night, so it took a while. And then when we had kids, it was even harder because he's a dad of girls and it's just him and my girls. And I have to say he handles it. He handles it like a champ because there's days where I don't want to do it.
And if your daughter's anything like you,
my little one is. My big one is all Carl, old soul. But my little one, I literally, she's 3 and I'm panicked already. So I just know that I'm in trouble. But yeah, they sit and wrench on the motorcycle on Saturdays. So
nice.
Yeah.
So Dan, give us a little bit. Obviously, you are the hotel is probably one of our largest clients.
Yeah.
I don't consider them a client. I consider the hotel family. I literally walk around the hotel as if it was my own home or a second home. home. If I see garbage on the floor, I pick it up. I look at Mr. and Mrs. Nicotra as family, not people that retain us for service, as Jen and all the girls in the office. And, we talk every day about clients and how we're going to handle this situation. So give us a little, not that we want to make our show very COVID-19 driven, but
Sure.
maybe give some of our viewers a little bit of the lay of the land of what's going on at the hotel. If you're allowed, of course. I don't want to intrude.
Yeah. I can talk a little bit about it as much as I know about it. So I'm working from home. So they are giving us the capacity to do the best that we can do with what we have to work with. So they've set up us up in a way that we can still communicate with our clients. So they have not been left hanging, which is, I think, a really important thing. I think the scariest thing for anyone right now would just not to have any answers. So I am able to communicate a lot with a lot of people. I spend hours and hours a day on the phone and on emails and talking to not just my clients, but a full range of clients, because obviously our office has to balance a lot of styles of events. So that's been tremendous. I think, is being able to communicate. The front desk is still front desking. They're essential workers. They're managing they're managing the property. They're managing the people who are staying at the hotel. They're out there, like you must said, there's front of house people, back of house people. They are the face of the Hilton there, and they're doing a tremendous job of just kind of keeping everyone's spirits up. You ever see Nancy's post on Facebook? She's just like the heart of the Hilton. And she's out there just making sure everyone and the team is making sure everyone gets what they need. It's a totally, totally different environment. It's a totally, totally different workforce right now. But we're hopeful. So I guess that's the most important thing. We work for really, really good people. Mr. and Mrs. Nicotra are, they're true people who care about those who work for them. And I don't know that like everyone can say that they work for people who care about them, especially on a large scale. I find that we're like the biggest small business around, we're the biggest little place in town. And as big as we are, Mr. Nicotra and Mrs. Nicotra touch base with every single one of their every single one of their employees to make sure that they're okay and that they have what they need. So they're fighting tooth and nail to keep everyone and everything going as best as they possibly can, and to maintain the integrity of the space so that we all get to come back and work there. So, yeah.
That is the biggest hurdle, as what Richie and Lois are facing, and Anthony, Mike, and I are facing. If you have 10 employees, or I think Richie and Lois have over 1,000.
I think it's workforce right now is just it's 500 for the Hilton, and then there's extended employees that work with us, but companies that we hire and that we consider again family, like that we work with. Obviously we work together, but we're family and we work hand in hand. So if you extend out to everyone we touch in that sense, it's probably close to 1,000 people in the Round Association. Yeah.
When you think about that, I know, and I don't want to get emotional, but the last day that, Mary and Renee were here, Jen, I said, I'm sorry. And I was like, guys, I don't know what else to do. And they said to me, just make sure this place is here when we come back.
Yeah.
And it shows something about, who you are as a person. I've worked for people that I was just a number.
Yeah.
I've worked for people that I was just a guy filling a void. Anthony, Mike, and I, as did Lois and Richie, as did so many business owners. So not just us.
Right.
We look at our families like, if I lay this person off, or if I, how are they going to pay their bills?
Yeah.
How is he or she going to put food on the table for their kid? And I think when you read business books, they say you're first, your employees are second, but I disagree with that. I without your staff, you have no company.
Yeah.
In the service-based business, Jen, and you get that.
I've never felt ever disconnected from the team. I never felt that my opinions don't matter, even if they don't really matter. I've never been actually made to feel that way. I don't feel like anything ever falls on deaf ears. And I think that's part of being part of who they are, like, and working with people like them. They really, they care, and I don't want to say they don't have to, but they understand the importance of caring, and we're caring about your client, like I keep saying clients, but like your guests. It's just as important to take care of your team, because if your team feels like you really care, they work just as hard for you. And I really believe that half the people that work for them work with them, because it's very easy to come to work and do your job and then just be done. And it's more difficult to come to work and do your job to the best capacity because you care about the job that you're doing, and I feel like we care more because the people around us care for us too. So I kind of just feel like it all feeds each other a little bit.
They're very, listen, working with Lois and Richie is not the easiest. They want what they want, and they expect nothing less than 100% effort, and they want you to deliver, and they want you to under promise and over deliver. And as we've accepted, Jen, in our industry, there are some people that don't get it, that think no is okay, where in our business it's not allowed.
Yeah.
They strive for perfection, and they're there for our community. They're there for Staten Islanders. I mean, when Anthony was diagnosed, Lois and Richie were reaching out every day.
Yeah.
We're just, at the end of the day, we're just a contractor for the hotel. Right. They don't have to reach out every day, but they did. And that just shows that it's so much more than a business transaction.
Well, it makes it really easy to work like that with them, because that the effort that you put in is like matched and exceeded by them. They will never ask you to care more than they care or do more than they do, because there's no way you could care more than they do or do more than they do. So you just try and continue to meet the standards that they set for you. It's a lot of times you get absentee people who drive you to try and do your best and then put no effort forth. But if Mr. and Mrs. Nicotra, they are at every single event. Like, they show up, so you show up. They are there, so you are there, and you don't question it or ask if this is, if it's necessary, because if it wasn't necessary, then they wouldn't be doing it. So it's got to be necessary. So they really lead by example. So it makes it really easy to just to do your best that you can possibly do, and then push yourself even further sometimes, because they would do the same for you and for their clients. So you just kind of match step with them.
100%. And they the whole organization, the whole company, I know Mike was very, 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 very concerned about Christine Garlisi. Is she still working? Mike was very nervous, Mike.
Yes. Christine Garlisi is definitely working. She's we were talking that she's definitely running the Facebook page Love Staten Island, which is an extension of Mr. and Mrs. Nicotra and their values and their care and love for the island. And for as much as the forward facing you see of Christine on Facebook and all the lives that she does, that's like Christine's like life is like an iceberg. Like, that's the 10%. The 90% is insanely complicated and heavy and important. And I've always said, when I grow up, I want to be Christine Garlisi. So
really, she's had a hard job, Jen. I don't know if you really want that.
Let me rephrase. When I grow up, I want to be as capable as Christine Garlisi. How does that sound? She's got a tough job, and I've always said that if I wish that my schooling or internships had taken me somewhere in her path. I just kind of get to walk in her shadows right now. But she definitely, listen, she's an amazing woman. Our company is run by amazing women. I mean,
I think you ran more by women than men.
Every major manager, sans the direct banquet departments, are run by women. Our restaurant is run by Corinne Arena, who's amazing. Christine Garlisi, obviously, is our chief of staff. Carol Tavella is the Serena of the sales department. She's like you know, she is. We have a sign in her office that says, "What would Carol Tavella do?" Because honestly, that typically answers every question you're looking for. Yeah, I mean, our housekeeping departments, the general manager of the hotel, Kim Pintus, is an
Great.
amazing woman. Everything down to like accounting and comptrollers and Stella and Helen and Christina and Allison. Like we can never ever question the fact that Mr. Nicotra has the utmost faith. And look, Lois is the queen. I mean, she is like queen bee. And never have to question the fact that they respect the integrity of the capabilities of the women in this island and the cool people we get to work with. So it's an encouraging environment and an exciting environment to be in at this time. So
Don't tell Des why I hang out at the hotel so much with all these beautiful women.
Listen, I think Des is just fine. I think she's a pretty beautiful and powerful woman. So I don't think it's that question, but yeah.
But and it's an amazing organization. We're proud to call them our extended family. But it's funny you say, I mean, that's not Carl-Ann, it's Jen. I mean,
listen,
corporate, we're social.
I love Anthony. I'm so happy he's doing well. He's good people. He's good love. You guys are family. I joke, these are my work husbands. Yeah. I see you more than I see my actual husband at certain times of the year, and that's the craziness of that. So,
and we have to commend our spouses because not many men and women, if it's 10 o'clock at night and I'm calling Jen on her cell phone and she will call, Carl knows. Jen needs to talk to Moss right now because shit's on fire.
Yes.
Or vice versa. I'm, watching TV with Des and, Sue or Jen or Carol or Lois or one of the girls, some of the women. I use the word girls. I don't mean to be rude.
No, it's okay.
Call. It's like, there's another woman calling my husband 10 o'clock at night. Des, you got to back off. What's up? Like, you need to understand. Oh, Carl-Ann and him Zoom every day, Jen.
I see that. I think that's important. I think it's important to stay in touch with people. And Carl-Ann and Anthony have a very special relationship. So
it's very special.
I was not going there, but I make sure that I'm on every day and I watch Breakfast with Bloomy and I watch Midday with Moss. That's my version of a Zoom. And I think that like this to me, this has been even just watching and commenting feels like a connection. And I feel like I'm looking for connection sometimes. And I found it here. So I appreciate you bringing me on today because it just kind of rounds out that circle a little bit. And yeah.
This is the longest, I think. The hotel opened in 2001.
Yeah.
Catering and banquets started rolling in 2003 hard.
No, right after 9/11.
Oh, really? Okay.
Right after 9/11, yeah.
I mean, it is 2 months that I have not parked in the loading dock, walked into the kitchen, say hello to Tequila. What's up, Moss? What's up, T? What's up, Mom? What's up, Wayne? I mean, and all the venues. I mean, I can't park in the front. I have to park in the back because those are my people.
Yeah.
Jen, it's Friday, and Todd is here. Maybe he has the thing for you.
He came on for me. He did. I feel very special.
Full disclosure, I saw Jen on my big. Oh, is my microphone off? Sorry.
No, unfortunately, we can hear you.
Oh, you can? Oh, you can't hear me.
Him? I don't hear him.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Jen, are you on your phone or your computer?
I'm on my phone.
I hear him.
Yeah, the phone app is mediocre. Do you?
All right. Well,
it's the fifth person.
I'm sorry. Do you hear me now? Do you hear me now, Jen?
I hear you now. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
You.
So yes. I'm busy doing stuff. I'm doing interviews and whatnot, but there's a lot going on. Huge day, but I saw Jen Finch was on. I just wanted to say hi. I wanted to say hi real quick and just see how you were doing.
I'm doing so good. Thank you so much. I said I feel like I'm talking to family right now. It's so silly. It's so strange, but yeah.
Because you've been watching now. Which show do you normally watch the most? Do you find yourself logging on to the most?
I find myself logging on to the most. I'm sorry, Moss, but Breakfast with Bloomy because
That's true.
timing wise, by the
Yeah.
time I get to like 3:00, I'm usually
That's
like
it.
really, really deep in the mix, and it gets a little. I can barely focus on myself. I'm sorry, I love you.
Great
No,
answer.
I get it.
Great answer. You can call on anytime.
But that being said, I try and get as many in as I can. Every so often, I'll catch the Gotham After Dark.
You know what it is?
Yeah.
I know what it is. It's Bloomfield, Finch. It's the Jewish thing.
Listen, you gotta go. You got
You gotta
we-
stick together.
the tribe has to stick together.
I get
Right.
it.
And he lives right down the block from me. And so Mike is right down the block from me in Great Hills. And Todd, I think you're literally right down the block from me in Jersey. Because I'm literally between two houses right now. So
Oh, so where
Yeah.
where are you moving to?
so I'm moving to Aberdeen, Matawan area. So and I think that's by you. And right now I'm in like on the border of Eltonville, Great Hills. So I'm by Mike. Yeah.
But Jen, don't worry about it. If God forbid you needed help, Mike ain't leaving his house. You better off going move because he can leave you for dead in there. Okay,
It's true.
Mm. So
Mike, we
yeah.
can't hear you, Mike. The IT guy's having a problem. His microphone's not working.
My
He's
mic
too
was
busy.
muting. All right.
He's too busy
My mic
messing
was
with the
muted.
green screen.
Yeah, I am. Jen, where do you live? What block?
I'm on Armstrong right now. I'm on Armstrong in Genesee.
Yeah, so you're right over
Nice.
here.
Yeah.
You're literally up the block.
Mike,
Yeah.
Jen's having a problem. Can you go to her house and help her?
No, I was saying Jimmy.
Let me say, thank God my husband, and I won't say, but he's like a tech guy, and he
Yeah.
was able to get.
Calling you.
I
Mike,
have
calling
my.
you. Listen, is Anthony Girardi still on the line? I think Carl, Mike Bloomy, and Joe Russo together in a conversation.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That'd be
See,
good.
but I don't really like to talk tech.
So Jen, have you asked Jen the stock questions yet or not? Yeah, we're not there yet. I'm
Oh,
No, we
gosh.
did not.
Oh, all of a sudden you want to come on at 3:30 and take over the show. Cut him out.
no. I didn't say I didn't want to take over. I'm just checking on where you've been so far in the show, if you have or have not.
You-
I'm just asking a question. I didn't want
Todd,
to ask
you
a
like
question.
what's
I was
going
already
on
asking.
behind me?
That's cool.
That's cool.
I
No,
got-
the green screen is good. The green screen's good. Only in the bottom right hand corner is there a little blip.
Yeah.
The only thing I saw, but it looks cool.
I was watching the morning show, and you guys were talking about the green screen, and the green screen is amazing. It is so fun and it is so cool, and with the photo booth, especially the one we had at Beanie, was incredible.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, it's such a smart innovation on how to go forward with that part of the business. It's cost effective for everybody involved, I would assume. So it's the
I-
profit margin's got to be there.
And just think how old green screens are, right?
And
I
green
know,
screen-
right?
Wow.
They're like,
I
it's not
know.
even new, right? Green screens have to be how old? Let's see.
Here, he's Googling it.
When was green screen invented? Here we go. What do you guys think? Oh my God, you'll never guess it.
30 years.
Okay. So you're saying 1990. Good. Jennifer Finch, when was the green screen invented?
I'll go with 82.
82. Todd, you are in production. I'm banking on you.
It doesn't mean anything.
The guy did production. He spikes fucking stages and tapes down wires. Stop.
Push the button.
Yeah, that's it in a nutshell. And I count down from 10.
All right. Do you have
76. I have no idea.
all right, and we're
Maybe.
talking about chroma key, so it's green or blue. There's no there's no difference. The technology, just different colors. Christina, thoughts?
I'm thinking like as early as news was able to be broadcasting weather on TV. So like maybe like the 40s.
See, that's
Good
I
job,
think it's
Christina. That's why I keep you around.
I feel like a long
Up,
time
really?
ago.
Wow. Christina.
Wow.
What's the answer? Sorry, I'm not.
1940.
Wow.
Chris.
But
Wow.
see, the way they used to do it wasn't as easy, though. They used to have to take the film, I think, and then they would actually like cut it out
Overlay it, like probably.
and overlay it.
That's
but-
crazy.
The green screens were originally blue, and chroma key was first used in the 1940s on The Thief of Baghdad, which won him the Academy Award for special effects.
Wow.
Crazy,
That's
right? To
awesome.
think that tech. So Green screens are 80 years old.
Wow.
Chris, you're smarter than you look.
She's pretty good. Pretty
That's
good.
my charm. Is
Pretty
I'm
good.
so deceivingly good looking that you don't know how smart I actually am.
There you go.
So Mike Labasso was here earlier, and when we got off, we were talking about you, and I'm like, you know what's great about Christina? There's no filter. She's the female version of Moss. She'd be like, I don't give a F. Get me this right now, or else you got a problem.
Right.
I feel like it's a South Shore Staten Islander thing. Like, we don't take no shit.
Definitely not. Definitely not. So, Jen, I think it's only appropriate we touch on it. Do we want to elaborate on postponement versus cancellation? We want to give out a thought process on this because you hear me preaching. Like,
Yeah.
I think we should get a venue's perspective and just to unofficially, just your thoughts.
I think, okay. So I think that there is a lot of gray area for a lot of events. I think if I had to generalize, I think postponement versus cancellation is the way to go. I think that the show must go on is like a true sentiment in one way or another. I know it's very, very hard for some people to be able to take the next steps. Listen, when a bride and a groom book a date for a wedding, that date is like written on their heart. It's just a date to a lot of other people, but to like the people who are putting the time, the effort, it's the beginning of what they consider to be their lives together. So to turn around and just say, oh, okay, we'll just pick another day. Like, I can appreciate like how hard that really truly is. And I literally face it every single day. I face it every, there's not a day that goes by since this started that I have not spoken to at least one bride or groom. And on most days, it's many more than that. I can say that 90% of the people that we are working with have been able to postpone and have been able to kind of roll in stride with what's happening and understand that life does go on and this will happen and things will eventually get back to normal. I think that people understand that things that they might have expected to be a certain way might have to be different in the future, how they go about it, the amount of people that they can have together, but the celebration still goes forward. I think as a venue, we have to understand certain limitations that people have faced. There's a lot of people who have been directly affected by this also. People have passed away. People have had illness in their families. So I think from what I hear, we're probably one of the most reasonable venues around right now, working with as many people in the best capacity we truly can. But in general, like to step outside of like my own bubble, like how I'm working, like I'm on Facebook quite often, and I see a lot of places that are have had to postpone kids party places, different vendors like Moss, they're not able to perform because of what's going on right now. And my sentiments are kind of the same as Moss's, is that do no harm. And, if you're not in a position that, your $200, $300, $500 deposit is going to make or break your everyday living, then sit back and look at kind of the greater picture for the people who are involved. $40,000, $50,000 liquidation of deposits for a small business can be devastating and can bankrupt them, and that it takes the fun out of it for everybody. So if you are able to hang tight, and if the venue or company you're working with is willing to offer you credits or postponements and work with you in that sense, I say hold on to it, because your kids are going to want a birthday party again next year, and you're going to need a photographer for your wedding when it does happen, or you're going to need a DJ company for something in your lifetime. And if they're willing to say, hey, listen, stick with us and we'll stick with you, I think it's a tremendous service that you're doing to your local community. I mean, Staten Island's very much about taking care of one another, and then sometimes it comes down to until they actually have to take care of one another. And that's when sometimes the true colors of the people around can get a little scary. there's been a lot of scary stuff online and a lot of scary sentiments of people online. And for a borough that is so, I'm tainted because I'm in such a loving environment all the time, and how much we love Staten Island and the people I'm surrounded with on a regular basis, just how much we care about this island, and the general people around us care about it, that it's so weird to see the people who are just so anti-island or like anti-helping those locals. I'm sorry, Mike, go ahead. I talk a lot.
Oh no, I was stretching.
Oh, I thought you were raising your hand like you're
No, I just if you watch you watch the show enough, you should know.
Yeah.
I just interrupt you.
Yeah.
He probably got hungry.
I was getting ready. I eat soon, so I'm practicing the movement.
The stretch there.
Yeah,
So I guess my sentiment is like, do no harm. Like, and on both angles. Like, if you could help a business, help them, and if a business can help you, then the business should do the same to do its best to help you as well. Like, that's my sentiment.
Just do the right thing.
Yeah.
You know what? And Anthony Girardi's been involved with getting involved with the coalition for events and hospitality. Support your local restaurant, support your local deli, support your local business, support your local hotel, support your, and listen, maybe I'm a little impartial, right? But when you get married, forever is forever. And as much as that date is inscribed in your heart, you still want to, the fact that people are saying, I'm over this, I don't care, I'm just going to City Hall. You're angry right now.
Right.
Take a chill pill.
Take a minute.
Calm down. Reach out to the venue, reach out to the vendors and say, listen.
Did he just say take a chill pill?
I
heard that. What'd you get then? IS-34?
Mike, shut your mouth. Before I come there, I'll get you.
Don't come here.
But here's the
I'm
thing.
at the office. Come to the office.
Mike, I know where you live. Around the block from Jimmy. The bottom line is that you're upset. And it's perfectly okay. But as Jen and her team, and as we here at Dash of Class Platinum Partners in Sound Pro Show, we talk to clients and we're like, just time heals all wounds. Just let us do our job. I promise you, I'm going to make it better and bigger than you ever imagined it to be. Just give me that opportunity. And I know Jen and her team at the hotel, as all the venues are, we're all, not just us, even our competitors. We just want to give us the opportunity to do what you entrusted on us on the day you retained us.
So I think that's brilliant. And I wish you would take your own advice. You're the first one that wants to get out of quarantine and end this because enough is enough. However, we have politicians and we've voted them into play who are basically trying to do what they can and giving us guidelines to open, and it might not be as quick as we want, but the reason being because we need to trust them, and that if we rush it out, we could get put right back in. And I would think it's better for us to get through it one time than to have to go through it a second time.
Mike, I agree with you 100%. Don't get me wrong. I don't think we should open the borders and go back to the light switch should not be turned on. Right. Jennifer and I in our industry could probably attest, and please do not quote Jen or I. We know we're not going back to work May 15th. We know we're not going back.
Well, there's no need to not quote. You are not going back to work May 15th.
We don't want to quote. And maybe it may be June 1st. It may be July 1st. It may be August 1st. It may be September 1st. It may be January 1st. For the love of God, we want to go back to work and we want to do our part. But our community needs to have our back the way we have their back.
Right. And exactly right. Exactly what you said. The bride shouldn't be running the city hall. Postpone it. I know you have it. Or go to city hall and get them. This way your official married date might be that date you want, but still do your party. It's not like, hey, we're done.
If May 15th was your date 2020, let it be your date 2021. If that day is so important to you, let it be. Even if it falls on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we'll probably be able to do more for you, but unofficially, I'm going to throw that out there. Give us the opportunity.
Do you think you'll see a lot of that? Do you think, depending on how far this goes, in order to do event catch-up, do you think you're going to expect to see a lot more weekday stuff get done?
Sure. Yeah.
I
Right,
feel
because
like
I think
people
so.
are going to be a lot more willing to go out on weekdays now too. I'm certainly going to want to go out.
people are gonna be like,
Yeah.
when are we
Let me
doing it?
outta
Right
here.
now, I'll be there.
You know, it's the Thursday wedding trend was starting to take off because you were able to get some really amazing spaces and venues and services for a much more reasonable price point than a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday option. So Thursday started kicking off. It was one of the bigger actual trends coming in for the 2021, even
Guys,
22 wedding season.
Ken, the summer, July and August, Thursday
Doesn't
night,
matter.
it's like a Friday and Saturday.
It's like
I
a Friday,
remember-
exactly.
I remember Anthony Girardi, before he stopped performing, did his last summer. He worked at a venue in New Jersey. He was there every Thursday for like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, I definitely think that it's, it's going to come down to availability. I mean, if venues, when you're postponing, you have to remember that you're toppling yourself on top of seasons that were already existing. So the
Right.
wedding seasons in September, October for 2021 were already heavy. They were already really, really heavy. And to now take 2020 events and try and shuffle them over, it's definitely harder. And it's definitely, it's every day. It's like Tetris, I'm trying to figure out and moving stuff around and how do I get this here? How do we find that day there? What's comparable for what people are paying and how they're doing? It seems like just pick another day and you go, but that date might not be there for you. So it's a matter of really, overall, my experience has been that 90% of the people have been really, really willing to make the changes they need to make and to do them. And truth be told, I have not had to call a single person and be like, hey, you need to change your date. Like, it's all been proactive, and people have called and been like, I think we should do this. And we're just supporting them. Like, we're their support team. And as an event planner, that's generally what we are. Like, we're there to support the decisions you're making and give you the best guidance that we can give you to get you to the next step. So we'll do that when you're planning, and then we'll do that when you're making changes. And, it's been good. And then there's some people who just can't get to the next step. There's some people who just hit their own personal roadblock in what they're doing and how they're functioning and what they find to be capable. And you have to sit back and respect it. I mean, there's people like you who can't come out of their house right now, or who won't come out of their house right now. And then there is people who, like, down the block, there was a barbecue for my house a couple of days ago, and there had to be 30 people outside, and then there's the in-between with this Moss, because I think Moss is respecting certain areas, and then other things that, listen, but and I just think that
I'm
everyone,
trying to social distance from Desiree, but she won't leave me alone. I mean, can you blame her? You know why?
Too, Christina too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I just think that I mean, I think people are doing the best they can do. And on a general scale, I just think weddings are one thing, you find a way to reschedule. I think it's some of the smaller stuff that that people are having a harder time finding homes for. Again, I saw it was a mom on Facebook who had her kid's birthday party scheduled at a venue at a place, and she's like, "Well, they won't refund me. They're only offering me a credit."
Jen, I heard about this, and I heard the business owner got ripped.
It pissed me off, and it really upset me. And
what happened?
So they're having a kid's birthday party, and it was for twins or something, and the girl went past him. She's like, I want my deposit back. It's not going to happen. And the guy's like, listen, we're not giving deposits back, but you could take this credit for a birthday party anytime in the future. He didn't even put a limit on it. Take the credit, take whatever it is. Now, I know small venues, maybe this deposit was $200-300 to get this down. I mean, we're not talking, I don't want to belittle $200 or $300, because if you're in a bad way, you're in a bad way. So that money can mean a lot to you. So I don't want to take that out. But if you are not in the worst way possible, your $200 or $300 is not going to make or break you for the rest of your life. But compile that to 30 or 40 events that this guy might have had set up for the summer or for March, April, and May. And now you're talking thousands of dollars on businesses that have a 14-day foothold on what they're capable of doing. I mean, an average restaurant has a 14-day window that they could not make money on, and then they're beat and they're shut and they're done. And there's always new businesses on Staten Island. There's always established, but there's more new business than established business in a lot of ways. Yeah. And these are good businesses. These are good people, especially this particular place. I don't want to put a name on it because I just don't think it's,
Well, we don't bash nobody. We talk.
I'm not bashing. I just in general, like, this is a really, I think, an important venue to have for kids on Staten Island. It's very specific and it's very oriented towards a certain selection of kids on Staten Island, and it's one of the only places that is offering that option, offering certain options, and to take a chance of or be part of putting them out of business, to me, is just like heartbreaking. And then people got on and like, this is like the worst place in the world. You should get the Better Business Bureau. And I'm like, I very rarely comment on this stuff because I feel like Facebook can be a vehicle sometimes of just hate, and like you just get like attacked for how you feel. But I just couldn't help but be like, if this person is doing their best to do the best by you, like at certain points you just have to take it for what it is and just like be like, okay, I can handle this. And I just think that there's just this mentality of like, no, I can't be wrong. You can't do that, and it's just like, let him breathe a little bit,
So unfortunately, and you hit the nail on the head with Facebook. And if somebody reached out to me and said, hey, I'm not deemed essential. I'm out of work. I have no food in my fridge. I really need my deposit back. It's a different situation, than someone that says, I just don't want to party no more because I'm pissed off. Yeah. And I don't want to speak for Lois and Richie or Anthony, Mike, and myself or anybody that's in our industry. We're all human and we all want to do. The problem is, from an affordability standpoint, we all want to run our businesses the right way. As if you do for one, you do for all. And most businesses, that deposit, and I want to remove the word deposit, that retainer, is what helps us keep the lights on and keep our business floating to be here for when the day of your event comes, with positive cash flow. And unfortunately, certain businesses may be able to refund every client. Certain businesses can't. But where do you draw the line? And the line to me is, I understand you're upset, but can we sell, instead of your daughter's 4th birthday, can we give her a 5th birthday party?
Sure.
And instead of you coming out of your pocket $1,000, you already gave me $5. It's only going to cost you $5. You save money in the long run. And people on this island, it's amazing. Everybody forgets the good that Lois and Richie do, that the Massimo Dodanas do, that the Anthony Girardis do, that the Michael Gore, that when people walk into our offices and say, hey, we just found out my niece is in a situation and, she was diagnosed with some crazy disease and we're looking to raise $100,000. And Jen goes to Carol and goes up the pike and $100 dinner becomes a $50 dinner. And we're partners in sound as a $5,000 bill. And we're like, we're just going to do it for free. Everybody forgets that during times like this. And that's what bothers me. That's what bothers me. You know what? Unfortunately, Lois and Richie can't open up. Lorenzo's isn't open for dinner right now, correct?
Lorenzo's is open only for takeout for the people who are staying in the hotel.
Okay, but
you're not doing takeout for everybody, just within the hotel.
I think that they're just trying to maintain. We're very limited on the people who are working in the hotel, and it takes a lot to really run it. So I think they've committed to making sure that everyone who's staying with us has a means of 3 meals a day. So yeah.
But Mike, think about this. People look at businesses like the hotel, Partners in Sound. And you know what they think about us? They could afford to give me back their money.
Yeah.
Right.
And they don't look at the small mom and pop the same way. But when they need something philanthropic, we're the first.
Right. It's the first people they'll go will be you.
It's a round world. You want me to be there for you next year? You need to be here for me now.
Yeah.
And I speak openly for all of my competitors. I don't consider them competitors. I consider them colleagues. And the bottom line is that as a community, we need to stick together. You may think I'm a jerk. You may think I'm pompous. You may think I'm conceited. You can think whatever you want from me. Okay. If I had $1 in my pocket and you needed $2, I'd give you the $1 and go figure out how to go beg, borrow, steal, or earn that other $1 to help you out of your bind. Because that's who I am as a person. And that's the reason why you should support small business. That's the reason why. And Lois and Richie the same way. You've never turned around and had a conversation with the coaches or anybody that works for them, and they turn around and said no. They may have not been able to do as much as you wanted them to, because again, what you do for one, you do for all. But they never tell you no. We never tell people no. You know, if someone says, Mas, I need you to donate a DJ. I can't afford to donate a DJ, because if I do it for you, I have to do it for the 500 people. I'll give it to you at cost. Just cover the guy's salary. That's all I'm asking for. Or whatever it may be, whatever the mission may be for that. And that's where our view is, and that's where people out there need to understand. 50% of this country is built on small business. If we all go bankrupt, we're all screwed, because there's not enough big corporate jobs for all of us. Take that to the bank.
You know, the National Restaurant Association is going to go out for, they're going to look for a secondary stimulus or a package just for the restaurant and hospitality industry. And I think it's like 100, like, I don't want to get the numbers wrong. It's like close to $1 billion stimulus package that they want to put into play just for the restaurant industry, because I think it's something like 25% of the workforce that's laid off right now is strictly restaurant and hospitality. I mean, think about how many people in this industry and in this business are just sitting home waiting for them to be like, yep, let's go. Exactly. I mean, think about the guys who work in the restaurant in Lorenzo's. I mean, Ozzy's been there how many years? Ozzy's been there since the day they've opened. It's like 20 something years. Voted New York's top waiter of the year. Ozzy from the restaurant Lorenzo's is just sitting there waiting to get back to work. You know, I mean, this. I think sometimes people forget that this is like, that it's like a real job.
It's
like,
a real job, Jake.
Because I mean, it's like a lot of gig work doesn't always come across like a real job, but this is real industry. I mean, big bucks industry, and people, you know, they're just waiting, and this industry is going to be the last to come back, and it's really scary. It really is scary, because it's a lot of people involved in are young people in the industry. And this is their first touch into it, and they're going to leave it because they're afraid that this is what happens when the industry kind of falls down.
Think about if all the chefs, the line cooks, turn around and say, I'm going to become or whatever.
Yeah. It's hard already to get people.
Our community. You know, I don't care what you do in our industry. I walk into a venue or a restaurant. I know, and Jen knows, I know everyone's name, from the dishwasher that started 2 weeks before to the guy that's been there 20 years. I come wish everyone a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, a Happy Holiday. I really do, because those are my people. And when you're fucking with my people, excuse my language, you know, my industry is bigger than yours. And enough is enough. And if there's one thing that comes out, one positive thing, I beg, and I'm not religious, but I pray to God, one thing that comes out, that our industry unites and we come together shoulder to shoulder, from busboys to waiters to chefs to line cooks to dishwashers to entertainers to girls in the office, and say, we will not be belittled as, when are you going to get a real job? This is our industry. We're the people that have your backs when you want to have a good time. Have our backs now. That's all I have.
That's it.
2020.
No, but everything you said is 100% true. You know, my brother is in the service industry too. My brother is a waiter bartender. He works at Blue. And for years, I busted his chops that like, oh, but I'm like, dude, you're a waiter and you hold it down. And when you go to Blue, everyone knows you're at Blue and this is what you do. And, you know, like, I don't know. I people forget the importance.
You don't realize a good waiter. You don't realize
you had a bad one.
You don't realize the mate. Listen, bus boys, bus girls, bus servers. You don't realize the value of a quality bus person until you're waiting on a table and you look over and they have no water.
Yep.
And they have no bread. And their dirty dishes are still on the table.
Imagine if a place ran on 20 Gabes, Manos.
Yeah, it'd be no issues. The guy,
no issues.
I walk into the coaches, and Gabe sees me. Maximo, is Desiree here with you? and he gets Desiree a dirty martini, okay, which we have to tell him now it's Tito's and ginger. She changed it up again. And before I sit down, there was a Macallan 12 on, and there was a guy that just always, and he remembers everybody. They were like, even he remembers Frank D'Amato. He remembers ice cold, Tito's martini straight. Like he knows, like that's not, he's not a servant. That's his job. That's his career. He believes what makes him happy is being there for people. I enjoy nothing more than sitting with a client and making all their dreams come true on a piece of paper. They entrust in my team and I, and then at 12 o'clock, we over-delivered every expectation. That's what makes me happy. And unless you're in hospitality, you don't understand it. Are there times I hate it? Yeah. Are there times Jen hates it? Yeah. Where we're like, oh, this client's driving me crazy. But you know what? For every one of those, there's 100 people that, turn around and like on our Facebook feed the other day, Mas, thank you for all you do for the community. You guys are the best. I'm so happy that I used the Asher Class Platinum. And it's stuff like that,
I leave my two kids who, God, I love them. Like I have a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old to come to work to do what I do every day because I love it. And it is an amazing industry. And there's very few industries where you get to meet a stranger and take them through a journey and then come out the other side with them and know that you helped develop what that whole moment was about. Like it's the coolest. It's people say, oh, you're an event planner. That's cool. And I'm like, it's so much more than that sometimes. And it's sometimes you're a therapist and sometimes you're a mom and a sholdder to cry on.
Guys, I gotta run. Jimmy's outside. Sorry. Bye.
You're like a voice of reason for people, and like other times you're like the devil's advocate. Like sometimes you have to be the bad guy because you're doing it for them, and like it's a cool industry, and it's something I've been doing literally.
Jen, how many times you got the phone call?
I mean, oh my God.
Jen,
what are you doing?
How many times have you gotten the phone call? Can you call Mas? He's really being difficult.
Oh my God.
From Mas, you're never difficult.
That sentiment comes from different angles. Like sometimes it's from a client, sometimes it's from Sue. Sometimes, it comes from all different angles. It definitely comes from different directions. But yeah, I mean, listen, we're in a team sport. We're probably like the biggest team sport around, and you're right to say that, we are colleagues, not always competition. And it's important to keep the pulse on what people are doing and how we're functioning. But it's also important to kind of try to have some consistency across the board because that maintains the level of being a colleague versus competition, I think. Sometimes I think that, acting in step again is important and having some continuity with what we're doing. But that's why there's so many awesome like event professional groups out there that you can be part of and take information from and communicate across the board. So I mean, I think everyone's just trying to do the best they can do at this crazy time right now. And I just think that my sentiments are just do no harm. And that comes in different directions. That comes on the part of people who are looking to cancel. It comes on the part of venues because sometimes a venue can do harm. I mean, sometimes a vendor can do harm if they're not paying attention to what the client is really saying and what they're really asking of you. So I think it's a general sentiment for just this timeline, this period of time is just like, there's enough crap going on. Like, let's try to just keep each other, status quo until we can step forward into the future together a little bit.
Understood. So it was funny as we were talking, Christine Garlisi just posted, and before we wrap up, I think it's important that we highlight Lois and Richie and what they did for their overnight team last night. Share my screen.
Yeah.
Yep. Get that.
We're good?
Yep, you're up.
Oh, there you go.
There's Corinne,
and
I can't see. That's Corinne's husband, correct?
Yep, that's Corinne. That's Pete. I can't tell who's down at the bottom. That's one of our one of our kitchen guys there. Yeah. That's awesome. But that's like their MO. Like, there you go. That's Alexis and Lauren, the front desk people who are there 24/7. Corinne, Brianna. So
these
like
are guys,
they're
these are
all
managers
functioning.
delivering pizza around the hotel to their essential workers. I mean, this comes from the top. Managers going around handing out soda and pizza to make sure their staff get a token of appreciation from Mr. and Mrs.
That's our Hampton team. That's our Hampton overnight. Actually, that's our Hampton GM Robin on the left. I can't tell who's on the right. I have the mask is hella hot. I said we're gonna have to learn how to size. There's our housekeeping team. We have Maria and Tony and
Why don't we
Miguel.
just start writing
wanna
names
talk
on the
about-
mask?
Right. I wanted to start drawing smiles because I feel like that's the biggest thing that's missing. It's so hard to walk around and not get a smile from somebody. Like before I worked at the Hilton, before I worked for Dave, I used to work for Club Med. And I worked for one particular chief of village who would say that saying hello is not a rule, it's a law.
Oh,
And he like embedded that in me. So a smile, a nod. I said, that's
What
the
Club Med
biggest
did you
thing.
work at?
I love Bill.
I worked Turks and Caicos. There you go. I was in Turks and Caicos, Cancun, Ixtapa, Crested Butte, Sandpiper, Punta Cana. I was all over the place. I traveled
There's the
for a
Club
long
Med
time.
in Florida that my dad lives right by in like Port St. Lucie.
Sandpiper. Yep,
Is that
that's
Sandpiper? And we go there for
Mhm.
like whenever we go visit, you could
Day
pay for a
passes?
day pass and go and
Yep.
eat. And, yeah.
So I was there in 2007. I was there sporadically, but my mainstay was there through 2007, 2008, and that was one of the coolest places. Matter of fact,
Darla
who?
Abramson.
Where? She's on the stream?
She's on the comment. She said, "Hi Jen, hi Massimo. Darla's
Hi,
been a good friend."
Darla.
She's
Oh,
the
I
best.
loved it. Darla. Okay. So Darla and Russ are two of the most, they are the clients that you pray to have come in the door
Yes, they
every
are.
single day. They are the most kind-hearted, most family-oriented, lovely people you have ever met. And they just wanted nothing more to celebrate. They're like two amazing kids. And they're great kids. Like Jenna, like they are just the best kids ever. And like they're kids that should be celebrated. And I loved working with them. And
Wow.
I hope for
They didn't get the full. They got the best. They got one of the best of the Hilton, but they were Anthony's clients. They weren't mine. So they really, no, I'm only joking. I'm only joking.
They are amazing. They threw two of the coolest parties that we have done. That
They were back to back. Sweet 16 bar mitzvah.
Was a Sweet 16 bar mitzvah. Jake had his bar mitzvah downstairs on the garden level of the Hilton in the Nicotra's ballroom, and Jenna had her Sweet 16 in above. And Jenna had a Harry Potter themed Sweet 16, and she had the most amazing candy table I think I have never seen so much candy on a candy table. Like the back hallway was filled with replacements of it was just insane. Oh, Philip Siciliano, what's up, Phil? Phil is an amazing photographer. I love Phil.
But guys, think about this. Jennifer's at the hotel. She probably has 2 to 3 events every weekend. Jen probably produces 150 to 200 events a year personally.
On average.
Okay. Jen's been at the hotel for how many years?
Going on 9.
2,000 events, and she just detailed one of her clients because that's the difference. They're not clients. They become family. You start off as a client when you're sitting there in a room at a table, and then, you become family. And that's what makes our relationship. Darla is one of Anthony's clients. She walked into the cafe one day, and I said, that looks like one of Anthony's clients. And I'm like, oh, and then I remember who it was. We said hello, this and that. And, it's who we are in the hospitality. But
yeah,
I don't want to.
It's pretty amazing how you guys remember everyone's name. And Christine Scarlisi definitely does. She remembers like everyone. It's amazing to me. Like
insane.
I remember faces. I can't remember names. And so I'll be around and she remembers everything about everybody, kids, this, that. I'm like, and that's what makes you good at what you do.
But it's her job too. And you
Right.
see, and I'm not knocking Chris, but it's my job when I'm out. It was funny. I was at a bachelor party in Vegas, and I saw across the pool party there was a bunch of girls, and I'm like, they look familiar. And I walked over and it was one of my brides.
Yep.
And I was like, oh my God, how are you? Blah, 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 blah. I said, all right, girls, have a good time. I'm like, I don't see nothing. What stays in Vegas goes on. What goes on in Vegas stays in Vegas. I went over and I sent them a bottle of champagne because that's my job. That's what
It doesn't end at the door. Exactly. You know who's also really good with names? You know Alyssa from On Your Mark? She's Teresa's.
Yeah.
Oh man, we were at Beanie Bash. We were standing by the bar by the Statue of Liberty, and this woman walks over, has a full conversation, and as she's walking over, Alyssa turns around to Teresa, goes, "It's so and so." From wherever she was, it was like a Devil Wears Prada moment.
Girardi does that to me all the time.
Oh my God! I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I am the queen of. Oh my God, it's so good to see you, because I have, and Sue will remember what her client had for dinner 10 years ago. Insane. There's certain people who just like melt into my heart, and I hold on to the details of what they are, because good people deserve to be remembered. That's my take. Like, good people, they're it's what we do.
Darla, thank you for the beautiful words. Jen, I love you.
What'd she say?
She said Partners in Sound is the best. She said she thanked you for the kind words. But
she's cool.
We want to be, respectful to our 1 hour mark. And
Yes.
Jen, you're on the final episode of the week number 8. This is episode 103 or 106.
We were at 100 on Wednesday, so then it was 101, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 106.
Episode 106. So it took 106 times for you to come on my show.
I know. I don't know if I should be offended or like what.
Dude, what's up, Moss? I tried to get you week 1. He said, no, we got to wait.
He's kind of a big deal. He knows a lot of people. So, yeah. No, it's good. I appreciate you bringing me on. I appreciate you hearing me out a little bit.
The first couple of weeks, pardon my French, we got our asses kicked with postponing. It's now started to slow down a little bit. Well, I think for the venues, it's you guys we're about to get the next wave, because Jen, we have people that were hopeful, but we obviously know that what's going to happen unofficially. But thank you for coming on. Tell Carl I say hello.
Thank you for having me.
Send my love back to the hotel, and you guys know anything you need, we're always here for you. And I cannot wait. What do you think? We're going to get a Beanie Bash 2021 in?
I insist upon it. As a matter of fact, I'm sending you over a contract now. So once you sign it.
Well, no, I'm talking about.
I can pretty much tell you'll have a Beanie Bash 2021. You'll be okay.
Oh, the pessimist. The pessimist.
Hopeful.
I'm not a pessimist. I'm a realist. And by then you'll be. The more we get people to stay inside, the quicker we get out of this.
Jen.
I don't disagree with it. Yeah. What is that? McAllen? Oh, 15? My friend.
I ran out of 12. I since I'm unemployed, I'm drinking out of stock. I started with the 12. Now I'm at 15. I got 2 more bottles of 15. Then I have 4 bottles of 20.
What was I watching? It was one of the Gotham, and you went through like an entire bottle of wine. I was like, dude, you better stack.
He does that every night.
Man, it's a bottle of wine a night.
Oh my gosh.
With all due respect, bottle of wine is 4 nights.
Respectfully.
I can't drink 4 glasses without being a mess.
I guess my tolerance has gone up. On that
note,
Jen, I love you. I love Carl.
Love you guys. Thank you.
See you later. Bye.
How much you coming on? See you guys Monday morning.
Are we ending this?
It's over. What are we gonna do? What do you want to talk?
You want to see my wait? You want to tell me what you think of this?
You're definitely a Eugene after that.
Yeah, well, no, that's my my marketing girl. That's the first thing she put together for us. I like it. We're going to use that for YouTube openers. I like the music choice. Reminds me of Westworld. All right, so we are ending this. Jen was a good guest. I feel like Todd's gone.
Todd!
He's gone. You can't expect much from him. Wait, he's messaging me. Not bad.
Oh, the messaging. Why you come? You know what? Let's get off before if he comes in, just leave him in the green room for dead.
He's saying hi.
Todd, come on the show. Let's end the show and leave him in the green room.
Yeah, Kai, come on. We're gonna go in the backstage. We're gonna wait for you, and we're gonna bring you in.
But
He probably will pop up. Like all of a sudden, you just see. Oh.
great
All right,
week.
so
Great week. I'm looking real quick for some guests for next week. Hold on. I want to see. I started plugging my calendar. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry for not being prepared. Please give me a second here. So next week, I have my good friend Nicholas Barbati that's going to be coming on Wednesday. And I know Rob Caplongo is going to be coming on. Mike Bezerta, an old Partners in Sound employee and a fireman from downtown Brooklyn, is going to be coming on. I told you to leave him in the green room. So, and I guess we'll find a couple of more guests by the end of the week. But Mike, do we have a guest for Monday morning?
not yet. I'll talk to Rob Nix and see if maybe he wants to come on Monday instead.
All right, guys. On behalf of
What's up?
How are we doing, guys? Great show. Jen Finch is awesome. Thank you for her email. She's awesome.
Thanks for being a part of it with us. I
Well
appreciate
done.
it.
Well done.
All right, boss, good weekend and happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Oh, we didn't wish Jen. I'm sorry. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, Jen.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers.
Mike, you want to do our own, techie Partners in Sound Geek After Dark tonight, me and you?
Maybe. See what time everyone falls asleep. We can talk.
We'll talk. Good night.
Why are you
everyone.
pointing at me?
Happy Mother's Day. I'm out.
Two of you, you're doing a show. Watch their show tonight. Yay.
Yeah, it's gonna be if we do a show, it's gonna be an hour-long make fun of Todd show.
I can't wait.